Good evening and welcome to Real Talk right here on SABC3, where the stage is yours. Today we are in the company of a literal genius. No, not me. But you know what? You'd be forgiven for thinking so. You'd have to be a genius to have completed grades 1 and 2 in just 1 year. And then go on to matriculate as one of the top 5 learners in the entire province. 27-year-old quantum physicist and entrepreneur Wandile Mabanga joins us a little bit later in the show. There's also an exciting new campaign that we're kicking off on our show, and we're going to need your help to see it through. It all has to do with celebrating and honoring our teachers. So stick around for that. All I'm going to say is there's a very big check that you want to get hold of. So right now, tell every teacher you know and every kid you know to tune in, because they're going to want to be part of this. But first, we've got another action-packed, entertainment-packed weekend, which means it's time for us to touch base with the one, the only, the guru of the entertainment world in South Africa, Phil Mpela. Hello there.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Wait, Razama, just for you.
Kondile boy. But you need to wish.
Wow, we gotta try.
We gotta try. Listen, I've missed you for 2 weeks.
I know.
Obviously, we had to take a week of everything
Yes.
to honor Umama Winnie.
Yeah.
But the news has been piling up. And you know how I know,
Yeah.
how you must know that I do love you. When I read a story, I'm like, I wonder what Phil is gonna say. And the entire country feels like that, right? You feel like that. So Phil, hit us.
Okay, Phil, first of all, your fave, B.
Beyonce.
Coachella took over Coachella and turned it into Beychella.
Look.
Did you see it? Did you watch it?
Look, I caught snippets because I didn't want to also ruin it for myself. But then I did manage to watch the entire thing. I think it's really commendable that they streamed the entire thing. 'Cause there was a point where, didn't you feel like you were watching a live DVD or something?
I did. Look, I mean, there are many points to what's happening at Coachella with Beyonce that a lot of people might have missed in the whole glory of the performance and stuff like that. I mean, being the first black female to headline Coachella, I mean, like, we've had Tina Turner. You have to think about this. We've had such amazing black, artists.
Janet Jackson,
Do you know what I mean?
guys.
For her to be the
Aaliyah.
first. Why in 2018? Only in 2018, while she was supposed to do it
Aretha
last
Franklin,
year.
Patti LaBelle.
Exactly, so that was a huge thing. And
Sade.
what I loved about her performance is that even in a space that is a predominantly white space, because Coachella is very white, Beyonce came in there and still retained her blackness in that platform. I mean, she did a whole drumline performance that was a homage to the HBCUs in America. For those who don't know, those are historically black universities and colleges. Those are universities and colleges that only black people could go to, like
Howard.
Yes, like that. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's what I love about Beyonce, and that's what I tweeted, that she's the greatest entertainer of all time, in my opinion, because she's relevant in all aspects of her art.
Also, when you say the whole, her paying homage to black people in America because they are really marginalized, she gets a lot of flack for being light, right? And for the hair and all of that, and the fact that she crossed over very quickly in her life. So she gets a lot of flack for that, and she's never fought it verbally. I like the fact that I respect people who fight crit with their art.
Yes.
Serena Williams as well, they asked her in an interview and they said, people speak so much nonsense about you and your sister. Why do you never talk back? She was like, I talk back. I just use a tennis racket and a ball.
Exactly.
I love people who use what they do, their excellence, to fight off crit. And she does it perfectly well. And you're right, she is the greatest performer of all time.
A lot of people have an issue with that. I got a bit of flack on Twitter for that. But we had our own South African celebrities who, I wish I could have these people's life. Thando Tabet, can I just have your life in jail? Just a little bit. I mean, she was just in Bali just the other day, and now she was
sorry to interrupt you. Look at that opening.
That's the opening, yes.
The amount of attention to detail that Beyonce pays, guys. Even if you're an accountant or an estate agent, a teacher, you can't help but be inspired by their work ethic. She's not just talent. She's precision, she's hard work, she's work ethic, she is creativity. It's not just talent. You can't
And that
beat
filters
that.
to everybody who works
Yeah.
with her, because I mean, like, looking at those performers around her, you were like, these people must have rehearsed and put in the work for
11
to be
hours
put in.
a day for 4
Imagine.
months.
Do you know what I mean? So an inspiration like that, who doesn't need it?
Oh, okay. So our celebrities are there.
Yes,
Thando
yes, yes. We
Tabete
had
there.
Thando Tabete there. I mean, the girl was just in Bali the other day with her hubby. I'm like, can I just have your life, Justin J? And Bali, obviously.
Yes, because Black Coffee is also
Hello.
playing at Coachella.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she was there. Kuli Chan as well was there, and Generations actress Tuli Pongolo was also at Coachella.
She also DJs, hey?
Rumor has it.
Yeah. She wants
I haven't heard her, so I can't really.
No.
But I know that when she left Generations, there was talk of the fact that she
She's
does
very good.
music as
She
well.
DJed in my hometown in Umtata, and I was there for the weekend, and she was DJing. She's quite something else. Okay.
All right, cool.
Coachella done. Next one.
Yeah, now we're moving to a rather sad story. I mean, one of the biggest stories over the weekend was the death of an actor. At the time, his name was not being mentioned, and what was being mentioned was the fact that they were shooting a film in Drakensberg, and as they were rehearsing a scene, an actor fell, slipped and fell 40 meters down onto a waterfall, and those were the images that we get. Well, not the actual images of the fall, but like, you know, your mental images. That's what we got. Since then, I've been in contact with people who were part of the production. I've spoken to a couple of people who were there, and they've given us some information. We are able to release the name now because this has happened, like, it's been, what, 2 or 3 days since
And
it's
the
happened.
family knows.
The reason why we couldn't release the name in the beginning was because the family had not been informed of this gentleman's passing. We can tell South Africa right now that this gentleman's name is Odwa Shweni. He's the father
Odwa
of two.
Shweni.
Yeah, Odwa Shweni. He's a father of 2. He was a first-time actor. This was his very first role. This was his very first time on a production set.
Why were they? Where were the safety? The safety nets around that.
See, that's where now things get a bit tricky, and that's why I also got very infuriated and very emotional on Twitter. Is the thing that, you know, in South Africa, we cut corners a lot
To save costs.
to save costs. However, at the same time, there's a moral thing that we as an industry need to look at, of saying to ourselves that how long are we going to let this go, and say that because we're trying to cut costs, we're not going to look at things like safety, because now people are dying.
And
You
why
understand?
was he doing his own stunts?
That's the thing. There were no stunt coordinators on set. My sources are telling me that it was raining that day when they got there.
So rainy,
obviously,
on a mountain, slippery.
do you understand? I will have to say that they did rehearse apparently 3 or 4 times before, you know, the incident happened. But there were no thing. It was raining. There were no safety precautions whatsoever. And the other thing that it's very problematic that I think legally is going to be an issue is the fact that they were not even supposed to be there. So there was not a location scout that went there and looked at the place.
So it had been cordoned off.
It had been cordoned off. So they were literally trespassing there during this shoot. Paramedics were not there, had to be called later on to come and retrieve the body. I mean, what broke my heart is when somebody that I was speaking to said to me that, Phil, we were all just standing there and we had to watch him being washed away by this water because there was nothing that we can do. Do you understand? Because we are in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, can you imagine? I mean, these people are traumatized. So I'm asking them, so do you guys have any documentation? Because I'm looking ahead now.
Indemnity forms.
The indemnity form stuff. They're like, no, the only form that they had signed was the Declaration of Health. Now, that means what? That means that before I can hire you as a performer on set, you need to tell me that you don't have any issues.
You're
just
healthy,
in case, yeah, you're
your
healthy, you don't
heart's
have any
fine,
allergies.
blood
That's
pressure's
Yeah.
fine.
That does not protect your body. It protects nothing. And that goes back into the industry. Do you know that because we are not a legislated form of employment in this industry, if an actor falls on set and breaks their leg, that's on them, unless the production has the resources to actually pay for that. But they don't have to. That's it. But then if we legislated our industry and we had unions, such things would not be happening. The fact that there were no stunt coordinators on that set would not have happened if we were unionized. That's because that would have been breaking the law.
So how do we start a union?
Actors, performers needs to do it. Needs to start doing
Get together and start something
and
like
do something like this.
the
I mean,
guild.
yeah, we've got SIFSA, which is really not doing much for the performers in this country. I mean, I did ask the question on Twitter, like, where are they? They should have been the first people to send out a message and saying, this is what has just happened. We'll look into it, but no word from SIFSA.
I always just find that the complaints go into air and then disappear. I mean, this is tragic, guys. This is fatal. Somebody's husband, somebody's father died because of the negligence of production. It's the same story that I was reading up on, and I know you were tweeting. I was following the entire breakdown on your page with Imbewu,
Yeah,
where an extra
exactly.
wrote on Facebook that, you know, extras are sexually harassed by a crew. And I can totally believe that because at times across the 15 years that I've been being on sets, I've seen it happen. Extras are vulnerable. They're not doing that because they don't have anything to do. They are doing it because they want a break into the industry. Now, there is nothing more vulnerable than a woman who's looking for a break into the industry, and you get to a place, and those guys who work the cameras, who work the stage, who work all of that, they already belong there. So you feel like you have to, in a way, play along. And I'm not
It's a
saying
power
that,
dynamic.
Yes,
No, it is. It's a
I'm
power
not,
dynamic.
Listen, I'm not saying that in Imbewu this happened with you
Yeah.
guys, but I'm saying that it was raised on your guys' show.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, it is a vulnerable place. Because if he asks you for your number and you say no, how do you know that that's not going to block your chances of ever getting into the industry?
Yeah.
Ever getting to the industry. It is a very dark time when you don't know how you are going to get your dream. And this is how girls are vulnerable, and I don't like it.
And you know what? And I think to a certain extent, we do need to encourage our women to be heroes. I know it comes at a cost, because one of the problems right now with this story with Imbewu is that Anand Singh has come out in the
Is he
media
the
saying
producer?
that the producer saying that they could not find this lady, so and he believes that there might be, like, you know, a force that's trying to, you know,
discredit
sabotage
Imbewu.
Imbewu and stuff like that, which could be,
Which
but you
totally
see,
could be.
when we don't have somebody coming out and saying, this is me from Pela and this has happened to me.
Because if Anand Singh, the guy who produced Long Walk to Freedom,
Yeah.
is looking for me,
Yeah.
yes, he's going to say, sorry about it, maybe there's a settlement, but will I be able to work in the industry? And I'm not saying he is that, I'm just saying that for me personally, people get blackballed, guys. If people
No,
are
the
already
blackballing
in
is-
the
it's
industry
real, it's
get
real.
blackballed,
Yeah.
how much more somebody who's trying to break into it?
But you see, but my thing is this, that we need to still, with all of that, encourage women in the industry to speak and name these people. Because, I mean, you look at, I mean, like, Vatiswan Daha has spoken about her.
Brenda Ngoli.
Brenda Ngoli on this very show
Yeah.
spoke about, but then because there were no names attached to their allegations, it just becomes that the same thing that we do for decades and decades, where we just sweep it under the rug and say, because you're not naming any person. Because if you're saying that Phil did this to me, then Phil would have to account, or Phil would have to say, okay, this is what had happened, this is where I was standing. And then if there are other people who can corroborate what you were saying, then they'll be able to come out. But if you're just saying this happened without really putting names behind it, then it becomes very difficult for any industry or
said, you
anybody
said,
to say
he
it.
said, she
You know what I
said,
mean?
you know,
exactly.
let's go to court.
Yeah.
Phil, as always, very enlightening, such a
Yeah.
pleasure. I'm going to be following the developments on that
Order story.
story. I think it is tragic. Our condolences to the family. Phil will be giving you, you know, as it happens, when it happens, he'll update you, and that I'm pretty sure he'll be here next week Monday with Azania, so that he can bring you up to speed on that one. A big thank you to our entertainment blogger who is feeling better. Look, today we're also turning our attention on education. Later we'll meet a quantum physicist, Wandile Mabanga, who made headlines as an impressive learner and now an entrepreneur. We've also got an exciting new initiative we'll be launching as part of acknowledging and appreciating the efforts of our teachers. After the break, we hear from the Department of Basic Education about what some of the partnerships they're involved in improving the education sector. Troy Martins joins us next. Come back.